Hello everyone, this is Raven Razorclaw and I'll be doing a short audio video basically on my synopsis of Star Wars after watching the last three movies and getting the basic storyline arc and how it all wrapped up all together. My general first impressions of when I watched the newest Star Wars was at first I was excited to see that they were making more movies and that George Lucas had passed the torch off to Walt Disney. I had high optimism, and what I was left with was I was let down. Basically, my first initial reaction was these movies were unique in storytelling, but it wasn't until after I went back and I put the whole storyline arc together with the pieces of the puzzle that I realized how badly they screwed the Star Wars fans and didn't stay true to the Star Wars feel or legacy at all in these movies. And basically did a quick cop out, had key characters die off in the movies. Didn't even have Luke Skywalker basically say anything, and then he's just like some washed up quitter that just throws his lightsaber away. And I can see the disdain in Mark Hamill's interviews, how he didn't want to portray Luke that way, and he was already signed up as the project unfolded. And the way that they wrote him in there and how things went down was just I look back now in hindsight's 2020, and it goes to show how the screenwriting and like the basic storyline for that was just shit. Like they made The Force Awakens and they had Harrison Ford in it, which was a good choice. But then, they didn't have Luke, they didn't have Leia, and I don't know, it just putting this new super powered character of Rey into the story where she can practically crush Vader in her hand because she's so fucking powerful and walk away without a scratch. They added all these new Force power abilities. Like, as far as I know, the Force worked in Jedis, whether they were male or female. So to say that the Force is female in this whole new fucking saga is just stupid to me, because the Force was always, on any side of whatever. And it's just like, it doesn't cohere with like the overall message of Star Wars. Star Wars used to be about like, captivating storytelling and like having these enthralling characters rather than this political agenda of correctness and being woke and, in the mainstream with how things are and socially acceptable. It just portrayed a good story and had a really compelling cast, and that was the movie, and it was revolutionary for its time. And it's crazy to see, like, they killed Harrison Ford off with basically, Ben killing him, stabbing him with a lightsaber. So they get rid of Harrison Ford. They bring back Luke Skywalker. So he just basically says he's a fucking quitter, throws his lightsaber away, and then drinks from like some space cow's udder, some blue milk, and then he goes and gets disintegrated, basically, is what I understand. And the next time you see him is at the is in the Rise of Skywalker, when it's at the end of the movie and Rey buries the lightsabers together where Luke was born. It's just crazy to think like how they didn't like they didn't just like screw over the Star Wars fans. They like the diehard fans. That's who they really hurt, because like the diehard fans knew all the lore of Star Wars, all the tech specs of all the droids and the TIE fighters and all these other things. Like, there was a lot of things in Star Wars that just didn't make sense. Like, why would Darth Vader and like the Empire spend all this time building a Death Star to destroy a planet when they could have just fucking attached laser beams to Star Destroyers and fucking hyperspeed fucking laser shot them right out of the sky to begin with? Hyperspeed there through anything, and then just blew up the fucking planet with a laser beam shot. They had like, it doesn't. There were so many fucking Star Destroyers in the Rise of Skywalker. It was practically a giant fleet, and then like this fucking like spawn of bugs flies out of the fourth quadrant or some shit, and like they're all dead. They all just like plummet from the sky. You know how many fucking TIE fighters each one of those Star Destroyers would have had in it? It would have been like a black fucking cloud, a swarm against like a little, like 100 ships probably. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. And then Rey just goes there, and she's not supposed to kill him, but she does end up killing him. So his spirit goes where, and it just like she's like, oh, I guess if I don't cut him with a lightsaber, then if I just force push his fucking electricity back in his face, then he kills himself and I get away scot-free. And then, she ends up succumbing to her wounds, and then Ben fucking saves her again. So they're like cheating death all the time by like healing snakes and fucking charming snakes and, bringing people back from the fucking dead. Leia just comes out of like, the middle of space with like a fucking like a Superman pole out of like the middle of the glass and all the shit after being blown out of the front of a ship. Like, does nobody fucking die in these movies when they're supposed to? Like, Leia got shot practically right in the main window by a fucking TIE fighter, and she doesn't even have a blemish on her face, like, when she comes back into the fucking ship. Like, give me a break. Like, there's things that could have been done much better that they didn't need to use CGI for. They could have actually spent time writing a decent script and taking 5 years, to like get like better training, better like physical fighting, took like all the games, the lore, the storytelling, the storyline, wrapped it up really cohesively and like fucking made it beautiful and like intrinsic and tied together and all going along with the original fucking movies and like doing it better than they did the original sequels. So they could have like made better on like even like what they did before, learned from the originals, did better than the sequels, and then released like something that was totally awesome. I don't know why they did what they did. It's just crazy. It's like Kathleen and like J.J. Abrams and like all these other guys, man. I just think they fucking all they seen was profit. They produced like 3 movies in the span of like 6 years. It's just like one movie right after another. It's like, why don't you take 5 years in between each movie and captivate your audience and build up the anticipation and use better story writing and like go over George Lucas's fucking ideas so you have an idea of what Star Wars actually is from the creator himself after writing these stories that they basically just threw out the fucking window. Like, I don't understand it. It's nuts. And it's just like, why would you do that? You alienated all the core fucking fans, the diehard fans that collect the toys, dress up, take time off of work, and like do all these amazing things in the Star Wars universe because they love the lore and the world so much. You basically took their fucking flagship and just sunk the damn thing for all these new fans just to basically have a new audience and a quick fucking turnaround in the box office. I don't know, man. It's just like, why would you do that? You could have made something like that would have lasted 30 to 40 years instead of 5 to 6. Like, and then what do you got to do now? Star Wars has everything. All the storyline arcs are done. They killed the Empire. The Jedi won. There's only one Jedi left. So what's going to happen now? There's not going to be any new movies for the next 25 years. There's not going to be any more Star Wars storytelling in the original line. I don't know. That's my thoughts. Peace. I'm out.